Have you ever seen a single moment capture both heartbreak and healing at the same time? That's exactly what fans felt when Sharon Osbourne finally stepped back into the public eye after the tragic loss of her husband, the legendary Ozzy Osbourne. Her first appearance wasn't at a glamorous event or a red carpet interview. It was something far more intimate, emotional, and symbolic. Sharon was seen holding a majestic owl, and the image instantly became a viral moment that spoke volumes about resilience, strength, and the delicate process of healing after saying goodbye to a lifelong partner. For weeks, fans had been worried about Sharon Osbourne. After all, she had just endured the devastating funeral of her husband, the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne. Together, they had built not just a marriage, but an empire of music, reality TV fame, and family legacy. Their relationship had always been raw and real, sometimes messy, sometimes magical, but always deeply bonded. When Ozzy passed away, fans mourned with Sharon, knowing the enormous void she now faced. So when Sharon appeared in a video on Thursday, September 11th, it was more than just a casual moment. Shared by her daughter Kelly Osbourne on Instagram, the clip showed Sharon gently welcoming an owl onto her gloved hand. Kelly captioned the video, "Today I introduced my mom to falconry, and she loved it. Thank you, Gerard Salter, for putting a smile on my mom's face too." That simple message said everything. After weeks of mourning, Sharon was finally able to smile again, even if just for a moment. The owl's landing felt symbolic, almost poetic. Across cultures, owls are associated with wisdom, guidance, and even spiritual connection. For many fans, the sight of Sharon holding the bird seemed like a message, whether intentional or not, that life goes on, that healing is possible, and perhaps even that Ozzy's presence was still with her in spirit. Some fans even commented that the owl seemed like a guardian, a reminder of strength in the face of grief. To truly understand why this moment resonated so deeply, we need to look back at Sharon and Ozzy's journey. Sharon met Ozzy in the 1970s, and she quickly became not only his wife, but also his manager, helping to relaunch his career after his split from Black Sabbath. Together, they built an empire, music tours, hit albums, and eventually their groundbreaking reality show The Osbournes. Their marriage was far from picture perfect. They faced addiction battles, infidelity scandals, separations, and public meltdowns. Yet somehow, through all of it, they remained tied together by a bond that no storm could break. When Ozzy's health began to decline in his later years, Sharon stood firmly by his side. She was there through his Parkinson's diagnosis, surgeries, and setbacks, proving her loyalty and love until the very end. That's why Ozzy's passing was such a massive loss, not just for Sharon and their children, Kelly, Jack, and Amy, but for millions of fans worldwide who had grown up watching their chaotic, lovable family dynamic unfold on screen. The funeral was understandably private and heartbreaking. Sharon, dressed in black, leaned on her children for strength as they said their final goodbye to the man who had shaped rock history and redefined an era of music. For weeks after, Sharon disappeared from the public eye, leaving fans to wonder how she was coping. Her silence was loud, and many feared that her grief might consume her. That's why this reemergence with an owl on her arm struck such an emotional chord. It wasn't just a random outing. It was a sign that Sharon was finding ways to reconnect with joy, with nature, and with the life still ahead of her. Kelly, always protective of her mother, clearly wanted to give her a distraction, an experience that could lift her spirits, and it worked. Seeing Sharon smile in that short clip reassured fans that she was beginning to heal. Social media erupted with love and support. One fan wrote, "We've missed you, Sharon. Stay strong. Ozzy would want you to keep going." Another commented, "That owl looks like it was sent from heaven," reminding her she's never truly alone. The comments poured in, blending grief with hope, showing just how much Sharon continues to mean to people around the world. But Sharon's resilience shouldn't come as a surprise. Throughout her life, she has proven herself to be one of the toughest women in entertainment. She survived cancer, rebuilt her career after being fired from the X Factor, and stood her ground during countless controversies. Sharon has never been one to quietly fade away. She fights, she rebuilds, and she emerges stronger every time. This new chapter of her life may be the hardest yet, But if history tells us anything, it's that Sharon Osbourne will not let grief define her. Fans are now speculating on what comes next. Will Sharon return to television, perhaps with a new project reflecting on her life with Ozzy? Will she write another memoir, this time opening up about the grief and healing process? Or will she step away from the spotlight altogether to focus on her family and grandchildren? No matter what she decides, one thing is clear. Sharon has an army of fans who will stand behind her, cheering her on every step of the way. The image of her holding that owl may become one of the most iconic moments of her story, a quiet but powerful symbol of survival. In many ways, it represents her transition from a grieving widow to a woman finding her footing again. It shows that even in the midst of unimaginable pain, there can be moments of beauty, peace, and even joy. As the world continues to remember Ozzy Osbourne's legacy, the music, the chaos, the love, it also looks to Sharon with admiration. Her journey is not just about loss, but about finding the courage to keep going. She is living proof that grief may break your heart, but it doesn't have to break your spirit. So, Sharon's first appearance since Ozzy's funeral is more than just a headline. It's a reminder to all of us, even in the darkest times, there are moments that can guide us back toward the light. And sometimes, that light comes in the form of an owl landing gently on your hand.